Hello, welcome. Welcome to the live stream number 24. Thanks for joining. If you're new, welcome aboard. If you're not new and you're returning, welcome back. My name is Rob. First of all, can everybody hear me? Anybody who's out there, if you can give me a yes, I can hear you, that would be great. Looks like you can hear me to me, but I've been wrong before. If you can confirm that all is good, just put it in the chat that you can hear me, and that would be awesome. I will continue chatting. So welcome to live stream number 24. That goes back a couple of years, but it's only been about 2 months since I've been, I kind of restarted things with these live streams. Having a lot of fun with it. So hopefully you're getting some value out of these as well. Pamela, hello. Thank you for confirming the audio is good. And welcome back. Longtime visitor of the live streams. Thank you for tuning in again. Hope everything is well in California. Where is everybody tuning in from today? If you're new, or if you're tuning in for the first time or not for the first time, whatever, let me know. Give me a hi in the chat and let me know where you're tuning in from. Always interested to hear where people are watching from. I'm in East Coast Canada, in Nova Scotia, the province of Nova Scotia, one of the maritime provinces of Canada, which is why one of the reasons I call myself Rob the Maritimer, because I live in a maritime province. And I love the ocean. What can I say? So, that's me. At some point, I may rebrand the channel, because Rob the Maritimer really has nothing to do with what I talk about here on the channel. I talk about video editing and using Camtasia and YouTube and all that kind of stuff. I did post one reel video, or not a reel, it was on YouTube short, when I did a little repair to my rowboat last year. You could probably find, I think that might have been the first YouTube short I put on this channel, actually. So you can check that out if you want. But anyways, let me get right to it. Let me put the overlay up. Boom, there we go. So this is what I've got written down for today. So the introduction, we've pretty much gone through that. Camtasia 2024 update. We'll talk about latest videos. We'll talk about the upcoming videos. And then I've got a few things written down to cover today. But as always, if as I go through things, if there's anything else that you want me to cover or you want me to explain, or if you have any questions about anything, I'll be mostly talking about Camtasia, but feel free to ask anything to do with Camtasia, YouTube, making YouTube videos with Camtasia, which is what I do. All of the videos that if you've seen my videos, I make them, or I guess not all of them on my channel, but 95% of them on my channel, I used Camtasia to make them. And every one of the last 2 months, I've come up with 3 a week plus all the live streams. I've been using nothing but Camtasia for all of those lately. So that's kind of what I'm about. I love Camtasia, and with that, I can get right into Camtasia 2024 update. For those who are interested, I did get some response back from TechSmith today, and the latest update is that June of 2024 is when the latest version is going to be released. We've been wondering. Last year it was April of 2023. The year before that it was June, and I think the previous years before that was always April, May. So anyways, they've told me it'll be June, but they can't be specific on the date yet. I'm hoping to get a little bit of advance notice when it does come out. I've told them that I have this channel and that I do live streams, and I'd love to be able to let you guys, I'd love to be able to have a look at it before it actually comes out. I don't know if they do that, but if possible, I'm going to try to learn as much about it as I can before it comes out, or as soon as it comes out, and then once that happens, I'm going to go live and go through all the new features of 2024. Not that I have any idea what's going to be in it, because I don't. I've got a wish list of things I'd love to see in it, but as I'm sure you guys do too. But we'll just have to wait and see at this point what's going to be in it. So June of 2024, look for Camtasia 2024 to be released then. And then I hope you stop back here, because again, I'll be doing a live stream about it, all the new things in 2024. And then from that point on, also the 3 times a week videos I've been putting out, they're going to shift over, and I'm going to be using Camtasia 2024 to make those. So we're going to hit the ground running with 2024, and it'll be all 2024 from then on. Not usually a lot changes, like the interface. I mean, I have no idea. Who knows? The interface might look completely different, but historically, the interface hasn't changed a whole lot. So even even videos that I posted 3 years ago are still valid today. You can go back. Actually, one of my top performing videos now is still one that I made 3 years ago on how to make an intro for a video tutorial. It was a very simple, basic video, but I guess there was a need for it, and YouTube keeps pushing it out. So I keep getting a lot of you guys new subscribers from that video. So and that would have been 2021 was the year I made that, so it was probably version 2020. But again, it still looks very similar to version 2023, which we're all using right now. So let me just check the chat here. Pamela Powers, thanks for confirming my audio is working. That's great. And we've got Digital Learn Academy says, I'm glad to catch you live. Just found your tutorials. You do an amazing job, dude. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Glad you're liking the videos. And there's going to be more coming. I've got another one due out tomorrow. It's been over a month now that I've been putting out 3 a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I'm going to keep doing that for as long as I can. I've got no shortage of ideas. And you guys keep giving me ideas every week in the live streams, which is great. Keep them coming. And also in the comments section of all the videos. So I try to answer all of those, especially if there's a question. And a lot of times there are questions wanting to learn how to do something in Camtasia, and I will either answer them right there in the comments, or I'll go through them here in the live stream, or it could be the subject of a future video. So keep the suggestions coming. Love to hear from you guys. So again, I've got a few things written down to kind of talk about and go over today and show you. But if at any point you have any questions, feel free to ask. I like this to be an interactive thing more than just a one-way me talking kind of thing, but it's totally up to you guys. I've got stuff to talk about. So that was Camtasia 2024. That's the latest on that. Now the latest videos, number 3 here. So since last Tuesday's live stream, and I did not do a live stream last Thursday, unlike the week before. I did 2 that week, but I think we've settled on just once a week is fine. That was the feedback I got. But since last Tuesday's live stream, I came out with 3 videos. So on Wednesday, a Google Drive video, and that was let me just. I don't really have to bring that up. You guys have probably seen that. That was a little off topic, not to do with Camtasia at all. But myself as a freelancer, and assuming that perhaps some of you guys are freelancers as well, or at the very least, if you're working in Camtasia editing videos, you may have a lot of larger files that you have to send to people. So whoever you're making videos for, you have to send the finished product, or if you're working with somebody else on Camtasia projects, maybe you have to send large Camtasia files. So that video was all about how to send large files, and I love Google Drive for doing that. Now the same can be said for probably Dropbox, OneDrive with Microsoft, and Box.net, is it, I think, is another one. Lots of ways to share files, but that video specifically, because I had a lot of questions. how do you send large files to somebody with Google Drive if they don't have a Google Drive account? Well, it's fairly easy, and that video walked you through that. I think it's only a 4-minute video. Then I went through Camtasia shortcuts, or then I released a video on Friday last week on Camtasia shortcuts. That was a little bit of a longer video, which is ironic because it was a shortcut video. But I tend to be long-winded, as you probably know, in my explanations of things. And the way my videos have been up until now, it's the best way that I know how to deliver my message. They're more of a, I mean, I do edit them, but for the most part, they're more of a me just kind of talking my way and kind of muddling my way through Camtasia and showing you what I do. So it may not be as tight and scripted sometimes, my tutorial videos, but that's my style right now until I, get better at delivering messages, say. But anyway, so yeah, it took me maybe a little bit longer to explain what the shortcuts were that I went through there. And even though the title suggested they were my favorite shortcuts, I'm going to say about half of them were actually my favorite, and there was also some shortcuts in there that aren't ones that I necessarily use a lot myself, but that I would find helpful, and some that I learned in the process of making that video that, so well, maybe I should be using that. In fact, I've got one that didn't make it into, well, 3 actually, shortcuts that didn't make it into that video that I have since been using a lot of. So I learned about these, and you guys, maybe you already know about them, but it's J, K, and L. Okay, so I'm jumping ahead of myself here. Under today, where it says more shortcuts there, I'm just going to talk about that right now. J, K, and L are awesome to know, because especially if you're editing a video. And let me just bring one up here. Let's share my screen like this. Wrong screen. Hold on now. Let me go back. That is my side monitor here. Let me throw you over there while I'm figuring this out. So the in-view screen, I have to change the settings for this. No, I think I have to do this while you're looking at it. Screen share, change the settings. That one, that's it. All right. I should have checked that before. I should have checked that before. Okay, here we go. All right, I've got my buttons all set up. So this is what I wanted to show you. This is my monitor down here. And what was I going to show you? Where was I? Let me look at my overlay again. Oh, the shortcuts, of course, J, K, and L. My mind sometimes. All right, so let me just open up a new project. I'm going to back up there. Let me open up this one. Okay, so this is a project. I just made this morning. This is I don't know if you saw the trailer to this live stream. So I put together a quick brand new trailer. I think I'm going to try to do that every week. So I won't set up a trailer like days in advance because sometimes I won't know what I'm going to talk about yet. So I set up the live stream Monday morning so that people know, oh, there's going to be a live stream tomorrow. And then Tuesday morning, like this morning, I put together a quick 30-second video that I just talk about what we're going to talk about. So that's what this is. And I'm going to use this to demonstrate J, K, and L. I mean, it's not very hard, but like as I'm going through this to edit it, so spacebar, as you may or may not know, is play, okay? And stop, play and pause. So play and pause. And is that too loud? Can you hear that? Let me just see. Okay, yeah, that's probably fine. So that the spacebar is play and pause. J, K, and L. So K, so you can put your 3 fingers on J, K, L. They're all right beside each other on the keyboard. L is play. Okay. K is pause. But L, if you press it a second time while it's already playing, it'll go 2 times the speed. Press it again, it's 3 times or 4 times. Press it again, 8 times, okay? At any point, you can hit K to stop it, and J plays backwards. And again, you can press it more than once to go backwards at 2 times the speed, 4 times the speed. Okay, so let's just try this. So we'll go L, L again, twice, 30 times, 4 times, K, J, J, K, L, L, K. You get that? So the way I edit, and it's going to depend on the way you edit, whether or not this is even useful for you, but I've gone years without using this, so obviously you can edit without it, but now, and just this past week, I just find, like, if I'm editing, say, the video that I came out with, what's the one that I came out with on Monday, outlining captions, okay? That video, I think maybe the body of the video was about 10 minutes, everything in between the intro and the ending. And there's a long stretches there where I don't need to edit at all, okay? It's only when I kind of mess up in those types of videos that I'll stop it and then I'll find where I picked up again and I'll cut out a bad section and I'll close the gap. But instead of listening to a long video, and some of my videos have been over 30 minutes, instead of listening through all 30 minutes of the video, I can hit that L button a couple times and play it at double the speed. At double the speed, you can typically still hear what's going on. 4 times the speed, a little harder, unless they're talking really slow. But you can quickly find that next point where you mess up. So anyways, I find that is going to be a huge time saver for me. So I learned something this week that I never used to use. It was probably always there, as far as I have no idea when Camtasia has had these shortcuts, but hey, I've learned them since Friday and I've been using them since. So so yeah, the video I came out with on Friday, which was all about keyboard shortcuts in Camtasia, is already out of date because I came up with these new ones that if I were to do that video today, I would include those. So hey, that's another reason to come to these live streams too, because there's also things in the video I released yesterday that I've thought about it, like, why didn't I talk a little bit more about that, right? And that didn't make it in the video. And I guess that if I'm going to be making videos 3 times a week, you know, that quickly, then yeah, sure, there's going to be stuff that I miss. And you know, if I have a month to think about every video and test every little thing about something and use it so many different ways, then I may close a lot of the gaps and have a better chance of covering everything. But that's just not what I'm doing here. So again, more of an interactive thing. If you guys watch my videos and see something that I maybe should have included in one of them, feel free to let me know here. I will never be offended by stuff like that. And I'm also never going to, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert in Camtasia. I don't work for Camtasia or TechSmith. I've been using the product for an awful long time, but I use it in my own way. So there's certain things that it can do that I don't use it for, if that makes sense. So for example, screencast.com, like where if you were to use, and this is a question that came up this week, if you were to put interactivity into the videos, which you can in Camtasia, like hotspots, clickable links, things like that. Well, if you're making your videos for YouTube or any other video hosting service where you have to upload an MP4 video, clickable links won't work. They're not part of MP4. So that has to be another service, or you have to export it a certain way with the web page and then upload that to your hosting provider and then host the video yourself, right? So I don't get into that. I know a little bit about that, but the videos I make are generally for, if they're for myself, they're going on YouTube, or into, I'm starting to work on a course about all of this stuff, but that again is going to live there's not going to be interactivity in it, so they're going to be MP4 files. So yeah, but you know, so that's something in Camtasia that I don't use myself. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just not what it's not what I do. So not an expert, but I'm here to teach you what I know. And if you want to know what I know and how to do what I do, you're in the right place. So yeah, I feel like I'm rambling. Is there anything? Stop me if there's anything else you want me to expand on. Let me see. Let me just take a quick drink and I'll kind of regroup and find out where I'm at. So, yeah, we talked about the shortcuts. So yeah, I came out with a shortcut video. Lots of cool shortcuts in that video. It's a long-winded video, but well, it's around 20 minutes, I think. But a lot of cool stuff in there. Took me a long time to edit that video. Let me just find that here. My projects. What was that called? Keyboards and shortcuts. Just to give you an idea what was involved. So I did make that video in Camtasia. So I'm just going to pull it up here so you can have a look at it. There it is. Yeah, wow. Hey, isn't that busy? So let me just kind of expand this. Look at all that. So I know you can group things, right? And I've shown you how to group things together to make it smaller. But visually, for me, I like to see what's going on. And a lot of times, if you group things together, that hides a lot of stuff, right? Yes, it makes things neater and tidier, but for me, I like to see everything that's going on. So, so one thing you can do is you can, not sure if I think I've gone over this before, but in case you don't know, you see this little icon right here? That's a way you can split your timeline away from the rest of your Camtasia project. So let me just click on that like this. Now, it's split it up into the my monitor above. Let me switch places with these things here. I'm going to minimize that. And let me bring down the timeline. See, that's the timeline after I split it away from the project. Now let me just double click that to make it full screen. There's my timeline. Getting a headache just looking at it. So yeah, I can zoom in. And so basically, to explain this, track 2 here, okay, you can see what I'm doing. Track 2 here, that's my voiceover, okay? Track 3 here, right in here, is my screen recording, okay? This track way up here with all the orange dots in them is my face, a video of myself, okay? And as you know in my videos, or as you may know, let me just quickly bring this down. You can see the top half right here. Let me fit that. Let me put this back together. I just wanted to give you an idea how large this was. We can zoom in on anything here just to see what's going on. So basically I have all kinds of keyboard shortcuts, text and pop-ups and things like that. Okay? And I wanted them to appear behind me. And I am in this one. This is the video, this is the track of the video of myself. If I can make this a little larger. There, you can see that there, right? So because I removed the background from myself, I wanted some of this stuff here to show behind me. So now that I've kind of explained that, let me link these two back together and bring it back down here. Okay, so now you can see the video. Okay, and all of these things here, all of this stuff here is what's making up all of this stuff here. So I've got text there, I've got text here and here. I've got the keystrokes, you know, Control C or Command C, that's for the copy command. And then I also have this shape back here, which is just a call out. and I've set the opacity to 90%, so it's somewhat see-through. Okay, but I wanted myself right here on top of all that, so I had to put it up above it in the timeline. Okay, so extremely busy timeline to achieve that. So this video took a little longer than normal to edit, basically because of that, because of all this and the messing around with the timeline. So what I did actually is I put the timeline, I separated the timeline from the from the canvas. I put my canvas down here on my lower monitor, okay, and then I put the timeline on my larger 32-inch monitor so I could see, I could see all of the timeline. It just made it easier to work. And then to bring things in and whatnot, I use my vertical monitor off to the side to drag, music tracks or whatever else images into the video. Okay, so I see a question here. Let me just take a quick break from that and answer Noor Samu. Hello, Noor. Welcome. Thanks for coming back. He asked, Camtasia 2024, what is new? Yeah, so the latest update on that is that June is when it's going to be released. I heard back from, I was chatting, actually live chat with TechSmith today, and they confirmed that it'll be June. When it's coming out. They couldn't give me an exact date, and they couldn't tell me anything that's going to be in it, so I have no idea, only that June is when it's going to come out. So when it does come out, I'm hoping to have a day or two advance notice that it's coming out so that I can get ready and schedule a live stream, and then as soon as I have it, I'm going to go live, and I'll go through it with you guys. So if you're able to join then, it might be kind of last minute notice. It may not be a Tuesday. With any luck, it will be, but I will also come out with videos very quickly after it comes out. So yeah, that's the latest. That's all I've got for now. I see another question here from Pamela. Pamela says, this is hard to see with on that screen. Pamela says, when I group a few things and then elongate the group, most times all the elements within don't always follow suit. I have to ungroup, find where they stopped, and fix them. Irritating. I feel your pain, Pamela. I agree. It is a bit irritating, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Unfortunately, I don't know of a solution. I'd have to play around with it a little bit, but it'll also depend on what is in your group, right? As to what happens when you elongate it. So, for example, actually, let me show you. I will show you. To answer your question, I'm going to pull up. Where is it? Where is it? My projects. Motion path and motion blur. You're going to get a little bit of a sneak peek here at the video that's coming out tomorrow. Wait, now let me think. Is that the one? No, that's not the one I wanted to show you. I want to show you the sample project that I made that video with. Yes. Okay, here we go. Let me show you. So here is, let me just fix this, fit, double click. All right. This is the sample project I used to make the video that's coming out tomorrow. Okay. I have several things grouped together. So, and I've got it on a motion path. Okay. Let me expand this. Let me delete the motion path. Okay. And let me ungroup. Okay, I have 4 elements to make up this group. We have a red circle, a green star, a white circle with a black outline, and a blue arrow. Okay, so all these 4 things. Because I wanted to demonstrate motion path and motion blur with an object, I grouped all these together. I wanted them all to move together. So select them all, right click, click group. It's now one object that you can, you can go up to animations. You can put an animation in. visual effects to do a motion path. Let's just quickly do that. There's a motion path, and there it goes. Okay, so it's all moving as one group. Now, what happens? Let me just delete that motion path. It's a group. Let's try to elongate this and just see what happens. If we elongate that, now let's ungroup. So in this case, everything within the group did stretch out along with the group. And the reason is these are callouts that are made within Camtasia. If it was a video, let's say I had a video within the group, that all the things that I grouped together included a video. If I go to stretch it out, well, there may not be any video or even audio. Let's say there's video with audio or only video. There may not be enough, right? So if I brought a video into here, and I don't know that I have one, new live trailer, I could just drop that in there. Just bring this in as a video. Okay, I'll just make it smaller so you know there's more than one thing going on in here. Okay, so that is a video. Okay, here, let's just clean this up. Remove all empty tracks. I am going to, okay. Let's say I cut the video here, all right? And let's just match it up with the end. Oh, I don't have snapping on. Let's turn timeline snapping on. Let's snap this so it's the same length as those, and let's group them all together. Right click, group. Now let's stretch it, okay? Right click, ungroup, see what happened. So in that case, the video, also stretched out. But if I go and stretch this to the length, I think that was it. Yeah, the video ends right there. Okay, that's the end of the video. So if that's it, and if I group everything here, group, okay, if I make it smaller, then ungroup, no problem, it shortened everything, okay, Control Z. If I though make it bigger, and then I ungroup, that's what happens. See, obviously it could not make the video go longer with everything else because there isn't enough information in that video to make it go with everything else, if that makes sense. So that may be the reason why it doesn't stretch the way you want it to. The other thing you have to be careful of is if you have an animation on your group at the end, right? If you shorten something, you may be, like let's say you have an animation on an individual item in here and then you shorten it, right? Like animation, this isn't going to make a whole lot of sense, but let's just say I have an animation in here, like this, and this is the R, right? Let's say it moves here, okay? If I then group all these together, well, even without grouping, if I take this and make it shorter, I'm going to lose that animation, right? It disappears. If I highlight them all and group them, make it shorter, ungroup, the animation is gone, right? Because it was over here. Okay, so just a couple things to think about, and hopefully that answered your question as to why sometimes things don't stretch out or shrink down when you do so to a group. It depends on what's in that group. Okay, let me quickly check. We got a couple of chats in here, so I'm going to move along. And but yes, irritating for sure. It is irritating. You kind of have to keep in mind. I guess that might be one of the reasons why I don't group things together as much as maybe I should to keep things looking neat. I still do like to see everything that's going on inside it, and that way I'm not really surprised if things don't act the way I think they should. Digital Learn Academy says, I'm sure with how good your tutorials are, they should give you some advance notice. I like to think so too, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, that's the plan for this channel, is to just continue to dive as deep as I can into Camtasia. And incidentally, for those of you who are listening in, watching here, let me know what your experience level is. Actually, I haven't even checked. I put a poll in here. Let's just take a look at that poll. What is your experience level with Camtasia? And the choices I gave were beginner, novice, intermediate, and advanced. It looks like 57% of you are intermediate. And then it's pretty close. Actually, it's 14% for all of beginner, novice, and advanced. So most of you consider yourselves intermediates. That's good to know. I'd be interested to know how long you've used Camtasia for, because this will kind of help guide me as to where I go with this channel. In my mind, I'm thinking a lot of the tutorials I'm coming out with are kind of advanced, or maybe advanced is not the right word, but not your typical things that you would do in a presentation style or tutorial style video. Some of the things I'm getting into would really add a lot to those videos, but aren't always necessary, if that makes sense. So some cool things like the motion blur and the motion path and outlining text. You know, it's cool things you can do. Some of the advanced animation videos I came out with, there's very few times, if ever, that I've even used them in my own tutorial videos that I make for clients, right? But maybe you would. So anyways, I'd be interested to know if I'm teaching the right things, if that makes sense. So if there's things that I'm missing, like the basics. I haven't really gone into the basics. How to open a Camtasia project, how to save your file for YouTube, how to, the best export settings. I think I did a video on that 3 years ago, but the interface looks different now. So that's one thing one video I think I need to redo. How to get started. Just an overall overview of all of the things in Camtasia. I've never really done a video on that, so let me know if that's something you'd like to see too. If most of you are intermediate, then perhaps no. But maybe people who aren't, subscribers of this channel yet would be interested, and maybe there'd be some call for that. So let me know, and we'll go from there. Pamela says mostly GIFs or GIFs, however you say it. I say GIFs and photos. Okay, GIFs and photos that you put in groups. So if it's a GIF or GIF, those tend to be, so I think of those as little kind of mini animations that have a finite time, right? If it's only 5 seconds, but you stretch your group over 10 seconds, then the GIF won't continue on. You'll have to put another copy of it inside, if that makes sense. But photos, I would think, shouldn't be a problem. They should stretch with the group. I would think, anyways. Just the same way as I demonstrated with the callouts. Photos should be pretty much the same. Digital Learn Academy says, right, you can't group the video and stretch that and have it be the same as the other elements. That's right. That's right. If you could, that would be some kind of weird AI trickery, I guess, to add to a video that doesn't exist. Or I suppose there could be a setting that TechSmith could put in there that loops the video, right? I don't know why you do that with a video, but if it's a GIF, right, an animated GIF, then maybe if it would automatically loop it for as long as you stretch the group to, that might be useful. Pamela says, I don't put sound in my groups. A lot of time and then it's continued, a lot of time it's the photos with a circle and matte. Okay, I haven't tried it with that, like the circle mask. Yeah, that would probably be a deeper dive just to see if that, yeah. And you group those as you would, yeah. But if it's a photo in a circle, okay. If it's a photo in a circle, then that should stretch out okay. I would think so. But not if it's a video. Most of the circle masks I do is with a video of like me talking or the video presenter talking. You put them in a circle mask, and then obviously it's a video, so you can't stretch that out. But yeah, it can be finicky, and if you're having trouble with it, a good way to find out what's going on is to just simply ungroup. ungroup it after if you've stretched out a group along the timeline and it's not acting the way you hoped it would, ungroup it and see where it went wrong. You should be able to see pretty quickly what happened. So hopefully that helps. Square Egg says, hello Square Egg, thanks for tuning in. Welcome back. I recognize the name from previous live streams, so that's great. I've been using Camtasia for 3 years, and I really like the cool ideas. More advanced animations. That's all good for me. Awesome. Sounds like I'm on the right track then. Glad you like them. Okay, great. Let's see now. We say, Digital Learn Academy says, I say start from the beginning. We could all use a refresher. As could I. So sometimes, you go down these rabbit holes learning all these new neat tricks and whatnot, and then you forget some of the simple things. If it's things you don't normally do often, then of course you're going to forget them. So yeah, I should, that's on my list of things to do. It is on my list of things to do, to more of a basic introduction to Camtasia. And actually, in this list that I do have a list. One of the things that I've got written down here, I say, attention beginner. Attention beginner content creators. So that's a quasi possible video title, okay? And then I've got written down why you need to consider using Camtasia. Myth busting. So this is the process I go through. If I'll think of an idea, or I'll get an idea from you guys as to what to include in an upcoming video, or what video to do next. And then I'll just start kind of brainstorming and writing down ideas as I'm doing right here. So I don't know if you can see that, but videos to make, I've got some check marks by the one. So the TikTok captions, that's coming out. No, that came out yesterday. Motion path, motion blurs coming out tomorrow. A save project as a template, that's coming out Friday. I'm still editing that one. Then manage library, why group things, Adobe Audition presets, morph a square into a circle mask, and then attention beginners. I've started to write down all these questions. So you don't want to just stare at that the whole time. But basically, I think it would be useful to explain to people what Camtasia is good at or best for. It's a video editing piece of software. It did not start out that way. It used to be primarily screen capture, right? Capture and record your screen for the purposes of making a video presentation, or a presentation video, whatever you want to call it. But to make it look decent. So they gave you callouts. You could put callouts on it, little text boxes, little bubbles with text you can put in it. And then over the years, they've added video editing things. Like you can put a video of yourself. Maybe that's been there since the beginning, but it handles 4K much better now with proxy videos. All kinds, lots of transitions. There would have been transitions in the beginning, but there's a ton of them now, and there's also ways to make custom transitions, which I've made videos on. Basically, what I'm trying to say is it's turned into more of a full video editing software package that also includes screen recording, right? And that's what I think is the biggest differentiator between Camtasia and some of the other more popular ones like Premiere Pro, for instance, with Adobe, or DaVinci Resolve, which is another video editor that I like. But those two, and then you got Final Cut Pro, right, for the Mac, or iMovie, which is, I believe, the free version for Mac. I've never actually used it, but those, maybe not iMovie, but DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, they are complicated. There's no way around it. You can do a lot with them, right? But it's going to take you, unless you've been using it for a long time and can pick things up pretty quickly, it may take you an awful long time to learn how to do things in those. I've been playing around with DaVinci Resolve for about a year, and I don't know a fraction of what you can do with it. And there are things excuse me, there are things that I can't do in it, or I can't do easily, or I don't know how to do them in DaVinci Resolve that I can easily do in Camtasia. So Camtasia to me it's the best video editor for beginners, but it also allows you to create screen recordings and make them look really good and combine them with videos. You can make videos without screen recordings, or you can make videos that are only screen recordings, or a combination, and you can just do all kinds of things. And now that it handles 4K video so well, I don't know. It takes longer for Camtasia to render videos than, for instance, DaVinci Resolve. So I think that's got to do with the way the software uses the hardware that I use. Okay, so I use a MacBook Pro with an M1 Max chip from 2021. It's a pretty good computer. 16 gigs of RAM, 2 terabytes of hard drive space, but that doesn't even matter. Anyways, good computer. And say a 30-minute video in DaVinci Resolve may take 5 minutes to render, whereas in Camtasia it could take close to 30 minutes. So there are things like that maybe Camtasia is not taking full advantage of the silicon chip in the newer Macs. But that aside, you can still do so. I don't get the crashes with Camtasia that I used to a couple years ago when I tried to edit 4K video. And the reality is, you bring a 4K video into your Camtasia project, more often than not, Camtasia will automatically start creating a proxy version of that video so that you can easily move it around on the timeline without it being clunky and hard to move. Proxy video it doesn't look as good when you're editing. That's all. It's just it's like a low res version of your video that you're playing with in the timeline and on the canvas. But when you end up rendering the video, it does automatically use the real version, the real full 4K version. The videos I've been making, I'm going to say the last week or two, have all been 4K. So now when I'm live streaming like this is not 4K, and that's because I don't have a great upload internet connection here. This is 1080p, which is fine for live stream. It's fine for most videos, but go back and look at the video I released yesterday. You're not going to be able to tell so much on the screen recording part of it, but like the intro and the ending, and even me with the background removed on top of the screen, all of that was done in 4K. Now, the part with me on the screen did not need to be 4K because I shrunk it down anyways, right? Anyways, yeah. I'm rambling again. I apologize. That was I don't even know what the question was that I started talking about. I say start from the beginning. We could all use a refresher, and then I ended up on 4K somehow. I don't know. So yeah, Camtasia I think is a fabulous program for beginners, and it's long overdue that I do a video on that, explaining that. Let me just pick right up here. Where am I with the... Here we are. Okay, I've got a few ones to hit. Digital Learn Academy says, I have been using Camtasia for so long, I think I was using a program called Cam Studio first and then Camtasia. I'm really starting to use it more and get into making better videos. Okay, cool. Cam Studio, that kind of rings a bell. I remember when it was called Camtasia Studio. I think that was, I want to say Camtasia Studio 8, maybe, or 7, or no, 8, I think. But yeah, I remember that. But Cam Studio, yeah, you probably predate me then. Yeah, they've been around a while, and it's been fun to see them kind of evolve over time. Like all these different video editing packages. Some of the smaller video editing packages specialize in certain things. Like somebody earlier this week mentioned CapCut, which is video editing software made by the makers of TikTok. And I believe it was made for the purposes of adding, TikTok or adding dynamic looking captions with different styles to their, short form vertical videos. So there are things that you can do in CapCut that you can't do in Camtasia. But the gaps are closing. Every software specializes in their own thing and then can do a bunch of other things relatively well as well. Camtasia specializes in screen recording, but it does a little bit of everything else as well. If you get into like complicated things like color grading and complicated masking and tracking and things like that you can do, not even easily, but you can do in DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro. But I mean, again, I've been messing around with DaVinci Resolve for a year. I still don't know how to do tracking and stuff like that. And the color correction, there's so much to it. I mean, it's a science and it's an art. I mean, there are people who specialize in, color correcting and color grading and all that stuff. And it's just so far beyond what most people need, quite honestly. Like, if you're making videos for YouTube, do you really need all that stuff? And that's one of the things I wrote down to touch on when talking about the pros of Camtasia. I made a video on color grading in Camtasia, right? Showing 3 different, you get your saturation, your brightness, and there's another one, whatever it is, sharpness or something. Anyway, I show how I color grade in Camtasia, and it's not that hard. It's just an eyeball thing. Now, you can't do as many things as you can in the other programs, but they're so hard to learn, and more often than not, you don't need to know any of that anyways, because unless you're making, feature films or videos for, high-end artists, Taylor Swift or whatever, right? Or a video for Paramount Studios, I don't know. They actually do use DaVinci Resolve. A lot of those larger companies use DaVinci Resolve for color grading. So anyways, I've talked enough about that, I think. Let me go on. What is next? Digital Learn Academy says, I do a lot of long-form tutorials. Okay, very good. Long-form tutorials with screen recordings, I would assume. Whether you use screen recordings or not, or sometimes slides are good as well. Camtasia is great for that. Mohamed apologize if I'm not saying it right. Mohamed Al-Amadi. Thank you for stopping in. Welcome to the live stream. Glad you could join us. Your tutorial is outstanding. Please keep going. I'm sure your channel what it deserves. Thank you very much for the kind words. I appreciate it. And I'm glad you like my videos. I'm glad I can help. Digital Learn Academy says, please hit like and subscribe to the channel. Let's push this channel. I thought you were talking to me. You're talking about everybody else. Thank you for that. That's great. Jolene Morris. Hello, Jolene. Welcome to the live stream. Thanks for stopping in. If I want beginner videos, I go to TechSmith. I look to you for intermediate topics. Okay, that's good to know. Actually, funny you should say that. I do that too. If there's something I need to know, if I want to make a video on something, I will go to TechSmith, to their website. It's a great resource. They've got a lot of videos. Some things they don't dive that deep into, or they may just show you specifically how to do things. Whereas I have some videos like that, but I try to put in an element of use case into my videos. So let's say I want to define something I want to do. Well, the way to do that is let's use this tool and that tool, rather than just making a video on a tool, right? Now, having said that, the video that's coming out tomorrow is about motion path and motion blur. I show how I use it and whatnot, but it's more of a specific. You could probably get the same sort of thing from TechSmith's videos, but hopefully you'll watch mine and let me know if you learned anything new that you couldn't learn from TechSmith directly. But thank you for the comments. Square Egg says, that's true, Jolene. Lots of the basics out there, especially by TechSmith. TechSmith don't seem to cover the more intermediate advanced functionality. Hence, I enjoy this channel. All right, great. Thank you. Another thumbs up. That's awesome. Glad you're liking what I'm Serving. Pamela Power says, I started with iMovie about 2005. It gave me a good basis for Camtasia. Okay, very good. Yeah, no, I haven't used iMovie myself, although typically Mac programs aren't that difficult usually to learn on your own. More so, in my opinion, more so than some PC-based programs. But obviously, that's not a blanket statement. But I can see how that would be a good place to start with iMovie, and I think it comes for free with Macs, I believe, which begs the question: why have I not even tried it? I'm a relatively new Mac user. I got my Mac in a little over a year ago, so I think it was March or April of 2023. Before that, I was 20 years plus with a PC. So there's been some growing pains for me in the switch, but I'm happy. I'm happy I made the switch. There are still some things that I've talked about this before. There are differences between Camtasia for Mac and Camtasia for PC. And I've talked about this before. It is also on, not that list, it's on a list over here. A video that I need to do is comparing Camtasia for PC versus Camtasia for Mac. It might make more sense to wait until 2024 comes out before I do that, because that could quickly become obsolete if I do that now. But yeah, there are some differences. There's some big differences in the subtitling and the way that works between the two versions. And because of that, I have one specific client who I need the PC version of Camtasia to do what he needs me to do. So for that one, I put lyrics in their videos. They send me the lyrics, they send me the videos, and I match them up. And Camtasia on a PC for Windows has a great little function where you can load up the entire lyric of a song in the transcript area, and then you press the little settings wheel at the top, and you press go, or I don't forget exactly what you hit, but you hit go, and it'll start playing, and you just click the first word that is to be the first word of the next subtitle as the song is being sung or the video is being played. You just keep clicking as it's playing. You click, 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 and the subtitles are generated automatically as it goes, like in real time. That's not available on Camtasia for Mac. I don't know why. I wish it was, because that's the only reason I keep my PC going here. It's not the only reason, but it's one of the reasons that I keep Camtasia on my PC as well. But once a month they come to me about once a month with these videos, and I have to fire up my PC and usually update my Camtasia on the PC at that point and do that. So yeah, there are some differences, and I should make a video on that at some point after the next version comes out. Let's see, where are we? Digital Learn Academy says, well, your camera and videos are done so well, I didn't know this wasn't 4K. Okay, well, that's good to know. That might have something to do with Ecamm Live as well. I'm using Ecamm Live as the software that's broadcasting this live stream. So Ecamm Live is software for Mac. Before that, I was using OBS, and I have also used StreamYard, which is a web-based service. But Ecamm Live links directly with my YouTube account, and it streams to YouTube, which streams out to you guys. And 1080p is what I'm streaming. Ecamm Live has a couple different tiers. Their highest tier would allow me to stream at 4K, but the reality is my uplink speed won't allow me, or I could run into troubles. It's like I'm on the verge. I'm on the edge. I have cable internet here, which it might be different wherever you guys are, but here, our cable provider, it's awesome download speed. I get, I think, 980 megabits per second download speed, which is phenomenal. That's way more than I need. But my upload speed is capped at 15 megabits per second up. Okay. Now, Ecamm is telling me with the way I'm set up here, I should only need about 6. And I have also read that you should leave about a 50% buffer. So add 50% to 6, you get 9. So as long as my bandwidth, I have 9 megabits per second upload potential, I should be fine. But if I went 4K, that would 4 times my upload. So if I'm needing 6 right now, 4 times 6 is 24. I wouldn't be able to do that. Or what you guys would probably see would be I'd be hiccuping every once in a while or freezing or whatever. So I don't think a lot of people stream in 4K, to be honest. And it's not, I guess it depends on what you're doing, but for what I'm doing here, sharing my screen, certainly it's not. If I showed you my screen on a 4K versus 1080p, it would look the same. Now, when I record my screen, I do record it at 4K on a 4K monitor, only because I want to really be able to zoom in sometimes, right? So, yeah. But yes, thank you. My camera and videos are done so well. Thank you. Love it. Pamela Power says, that's okay to ramble. There are lots of pearls within it. You just have to know how to decipher them. Just listen closely. You might get a good nugget from me, but in and amongst all the crap I'm talking about. But yeah, okay, yeah, I do tend to ramble. But if I didn't, I don't know if I'd be able to get 2 hours out of these things. What are we? We're 1 hour into this, and I've still got lots to talk about. So we're probably going to be here for another hour or so. If you guys are into it. Yeah. Mark's Mind. Hello, Mark. Thanks for stopping in, and welcome to the live stream. Mark says, new to Audiate and interested in the dynamic captions beta, but not sure how to manipulate them. I'm Camtasia beyond font, but not sure how to manipulate them. I think this should be in Camtasia beyond font and size. Would like to set breaks or highlight words as spoken. Okay. I have to confess, I'm not an Audiate user yet. So I can't really speak very much. I know a little bit about it. I know you can edit the text in Audiate, and that basically edits your video, right? Like if you cut out words in Audiate, that'll cut out the words in your video as well in Camtasia, which sounds super cool. And that might be a good way for some to edit. And I think it's also got a neat feature to remove all the ums and ahs and whatnot, which I'm very guilty of when I record myself. There's another one. But yeah, no, I'll look into this, but I'll have to dive a little deeper into. I'll have to actually get a copy of Audiate and explore that a little bit before I can talk intelligently about it. So I apologize, but I'm not really up on that just yet, but it's on my list of things to get into. So bear with me. Coming soon. Fulvio De Rosa. Hello, Fulvio. Thanks for stopping in and welcome to the live stream. Fulvio says, I hope record 2 webcam track or face and tape or for face. I think that's 4 for face and table work. Okay. I think I understand. So what you want to do is have 2 cameras, right? One on your face, like I have this one here, and another one perhaps looking down at your table. Am I understanding correctly? If so, you can definitely edit a video like that with Camtasia. 1 second here. Got a dry throat today. This keeps me awake too. Not that I'm falling asleep. It's only 3 o'clock here. Yeah, so if you want 2 cameras like that, consider, what's the best way for me to describe this? If I were doing that, and I want to do that, I want to get into videos like that. I also have, the ability. I'd like the ability to be able to draw things or write things down and have a top-down shot of that. And I think that's what you're talking about. The way I would do that, you'd need a second camera, right? So I have 1 camera here. You'd need another camera mounted above you, okay, pointing down. and then you don't even have to have them hooked into your computer. So, for example, let me explain the way I make my videos. When I make my videos, I don't use only Camtasia the way it's kind of designed to make things easy. So Camtasia, you could use it, record your screen, record your face, all at the same time, okay? I don't necessarily do that. In fact, the latest video I made, I didn't use Camtasia to record that at all. What I do is, let me just think about this. What's the best way to explain this? When I'm making tutorial videos, I will use Camtasia to record the screen. But when I make my videos for YouTube, I'm using OBS to record my screen because I'm not concerned with things like manipulating the cursor afterwards, right? I'm happy with the cursor. I've spent so many years teaching myself to not move my cursor in the event that I need to pause and start again and want to be able to stitch it together and not have the cursor jump around. I've kind of taught myself that. Therefore, I'm okay with not having the ability to edit the cursor. So I will use OBS often to record my screen. I'm using my camera to record my face, not through Camtasia, just onto the SD card in my camera. So I'll reach up and I'll hit record on the camera. I'll hit record on OBS over here. It's recording this screen, okay? In what you're talking about, if you have another camera, I would hit record in that camera too. So that camera is going to have an SD card, that's going to have an SD card, and you're going to record your screen, whether with OBS or with Camtasia, it doesn't matter. But then when all your recording is done, stop, you're going to import everything into Camtasia. So you're going to import a track from your camera that took your face. You're going to import the track from this camera and bring those into Camtasia, and you have to sync up the audio. Now, something to keep in mind. If both of your cameras are also recording audio as well as video, then syncing them up becomes easier, okay? And I made a video on how to do that, how to sync audio, video, and screen tracks. Because when I record my screen with OBS, it's also recording audio. So I get audio in all the tracks, and I end up deleting all of the audio except for the main good audio that I want to keep. Okay, so if your cameras are recording audio, great. But if they're not, then all you want to do is you're going to have to give yourself a visual cue somehow. And the way you see that done in the movies is with like a clapboard. You'll see this big thing they'll hold up and bang, like that. And you'll hear the click sound, and on it will be written, the scene and whatnot. That click sound, right? You'll get the sound from your microphone, wherever you're, capturing your sound, and you'll see the visual of the clap in the video and in this. So you're going to want to do it in such a way that both cameras can pick it up, okay? Some people just clap their hands, like they do that once. They'll hit record, clap, and then they'll go on. Then when they bring everything into Camtasia, that clap will be very visible in the audio waveform, and you just line that up. You line it up with the visual of your hands doing this, okay? Then yeah, you edit it all together. I'm not sure if that answers your question, but you can definitely use Camtasia to put all of that together. 2 cameras, an audio track, and a screen track. So there's 4 tracks right there before you even start adding any effects and captions and text and all that stuff. Definitely you can do that with Camtasia. And I'm going to do it, and I'll show you guys when I finally do it with a top-down shot as well. Yes, okay, so yeah, hopefully that helped. Thanks for the question. Next we have Mark's Mind says, well, new material for your upcoming shows. Great tool and auto-generate voice and scripts. That's right too. Yeah, Audio8 can auto-generate voice as well. I love that it auto-generates scripts like that. That is definitely useful. As far as auto-generating voice, I'm a big proponent of using your own voice. So for me, I would use my own voice anyways. I don't tend to like using although the AI voices that you can use these days, they're getting really good. So perhaps the days of voiceover artists are numbered as more and more people start using the AI generated voices. And for those who aren't set up to be able to capture good audio, that's a great alternative, right? Using AI generated voices. And so yeah, you can do that in Audiate as well. And yes, good material for upcoming videos. There's going to be no shortage of stuff for me to talk about in the future. The other thing I don't use with Camtasia, so there's Audiate. The other, if there's three big pillars, you've got Camtasia, Audiate, and Snagit. Snagit is another great program from TechSmith, and I've used it in the past. I think version 13 is the last time I had it. I don't use it now. I just use Max. I only ever used it for getting screen captures, like still images of a screenshot, is what I used to use Snagit for. And we're going back 3 years now. But now what I do is on my Mac, it's Command Shift 4, I think, or 3. Command Shift 3 takes a screenshot of, and I just find that super easy. I bring that into Canva and I make my images in Canva and thumbnails and stuff like that. But no, at some point, if I'm going to go, if I'm going to continue deep diving into Camtasia, it only makes sense for me to kind of also cover a little bit of Audiate this way and a little bit of Snagit this way at some point. Just not quite there yet, but I will. Okay. Fulvio says, thanks for your great Rob. Great job. Hi from Naples, Italy. Oh, very good. Italy. I think that's the first time we've had someone join in from Italy. Welcome. I've never been to Naples. I've been to Rome just for a weekend several years ago. Very good. From across the pond, so a little bit later there. It must be 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. over there right now. It's 3 o'clock here, 2 o'clock Eastern. I like hearing where everybody's from. So anybody who's tuning in right now, if you want to just let me know where you're, we'll take a quick little poll. Let me know where you're listening from, so everybody can see. That would be awesome. Again, I'm Canada. Hello from East Coast Canada. Square Egg says, if anyone is interested in trying Audiate, you can get a 7-day free trial. Worth having a play. Yes, awesome. Good to know. Good advice. I love it when they have free trials, because you never know if it's something you're going to want to use or not. So that's probably what I'll do at some point. Once I have the time to get into that, I'll do that. I'll take them up on the 7-day free trial offer. Okay, where are we? Where are we? So we talked about latest videos. So Camtasia shortcuts, outline captions. I've jumped around here a little bit. So outline captions, that's the text doesn't really match what the video was about. That video came out yesterday. Outline captions is the text that's on the thumbnail. But what it was really about was dynamic captions, and that's what the title was: how to create dynamic captions in Camtasia. And you should check out that video. I think it's a 12, I can't remember, 15 minute video. But the cool little nugget in there was how to outline text. And I can show you really quick on this same screen here. If I were to bring text down on the screen here, let's make this screen a different color. We'll go black. Okay, we've got some text. Let's make this text bigger and bold. Oh, and incidentally, if you want to make your text bigger than this will make it, see the size only goes up to 256. If that's not big enough for you, go up here and go to scale. Boom. You can make it really big. All right. So another little, maybe that's a little golden nugget there, a little tidbit of information for you. So let's make this text. Let's go back over to the text properties. Let's make it blue. All right. Like that. And now, how do you outline that? You'd think there'd be something in here under properties, the callout properties, to put an outline around, like just, I'm not talking about outline around the text box. I'm talking about around each letters, right? Each of the letters. There's a way to do it, and I don't know why it's so, I just kind of stumbled across it. If you go to Visual Effects, and you go to, where is it? Border. Grab border, throw that on your text. It added a border. Okay? You can hardly see it because it's small. Let's go down here into the callouts. Let's make it thicker. Okay, see what it did though? It put the border around the box. You just got to check this little use alpha box. You check that, and it puts the border around the text. It's as simple as that. Okay? That's all you got to do. So a little bit of a workaround, but anyways, that's that. So that was the little nugget inside that video that I came out with yesterday. But I also got into things like how to make this really dynamic. So I did it for let's bring this scale down a bit. I did it for like you generally see these in TikTok videos, right? So we would add a rotation to this. Say let's have it zoom on the screen with a bit of rotation. And if we make this a little bigger here, let's just change this project settings. We'll change this to, so it's at 1920 by 1080. Let's reverse that, 1080 by 1920, which is what a long form video is, right? So now it's sized for it to be a YouTube short or YouTube short or Instagram Reel or TikTok, okay? So if I were to use this video in here, obviously it's not sized the right way. So let's stretch it up, stretch it down. There we go, there's our video. Okay, and you can move that around, whatever makes the most sense. And now to make this dynamic, we would, let me see now, what do we want to do? Bring an animation down. Go grab an animation. I mean, you can watch the video that I made and came up with yesterday. Maybe you already have. But there's something that I missed in that video that I'd like to show you. So let's put the playhead here. Actually, no, sorry, I'm going to back up. We'll delete that. We want to add a behavior to this first. Go to behaviors. Let's bring the scale behavior onto this. And the in behavior, I want it to grow. Okay. And the movement, I want to be smooth, and I want this to be 98%. And I know that because I just made that video. Okay, see what it does there? Grows onto the screen. It grew onto the screen one letter at a time. I don't want that. I want all of the letters to come on the screen at the same time, so I'm going to click on Object. And if that happens too fast, you can slow the speed down. Okay, maybe that looks a little bit better. Okay, so it's growing onto the screen. Now, some of these behaviors have during and out animations. This one doesn't have any for during, which is good, and the out. I actually don't want an out animation on this, and the reason is because I want to be able to lengthen or shorten the end. It's kind of like what Pamela was bringing up with the when you're grouping things together. Sometimes if you straighten or if you lengthen or shorten a group, then you'll kind of mess up what's going on at the end. So I'm just going to leave the end set to none as well. So the end, the out or end is set to none, during is none, and the in is growing, type is object, smooth 95%. Okay. Now the other thing I wanted to add to this was a little animation. We'll go to animations, bring a custom animation down. Shift A is the shortcut for quickly adding a custom animation. We'll put the playhead at the beginning, and so we know this behavior is already going to start with it small, so I don't have to change the size properties here because the behavior is going to handle that. But what I want to change is the rotation. So let's go back up here to the properties, and I want to change the rotation here. So let's start there, say minus 45 degrees. Okay, now let's play this, see what happens. Okay, you see what I'm trying to do. Now, it grew much faster than the rotation took. So I want my rotation animation to happen faster. So let's put the playhead at the end here, and let's start dragging our animation back until there. See, right there it's finished growing. The behavior, the growing behavior. Okay, so now let's see what that looks like. Okay, see what it does? I might even make that even shorter. Whoops. Try that. All right. So that's, now what do I even say here? I don't have, let's make the text what it should be. Hi there. Okay, so let's go into the text. And we'll just go, hi there. And actually, let's just make this text a little bigger, like that. Okay, and then at this point, we're going to want it to stop here because we want the next one to start. So we'll split that and delete that. So there's our callout. Now, one thing that I did not show in the video yesterday, that I released yesterday, that I should have, and that is that you want to group this now. Now I know there's only one thing here, but I'll show you why. If we group this, so right click and click on group, okay? There it is. That is the group. And what you'll see is you get some group properties up here. You get your text, right? And you can edit the properties. So if we go to group properties, let's click on this. Visible properties, you've got the color here and the text, okay? Which is great. So what I'll be able to do to change this text, I don't have to go into the group and change it down here or on the canvas. I can just go up here and change it. If I want to change the color, I can just change it in here. Okay? So now with the group created, okay, and we can change that back to like A, B, C if we want, right? Tab, that changes it. So now we can right click this, add that to our library, and I'm just going to call it live for now, and we'll put that in test library. That's the group I created for the video I made yesterday. So in the library, test library, we'll look for live. And we'll use the canvas size, add that there. So now, let's say I started with, let's say I started this project here and I want to add my captions. I've saved a style that I want to use. So I'll go up here into my media, right? You click on library, you go into test library, and there we just called this one live. You click and you drag that down here. There it is. So this one, I know it says hi there, tab, and let's say I want it to be red. There we go. And now I can just, I don't have to keep bringing it down from the library. I'll just Control C and Control V, copy and paste, or Control D if you want to. So now, so that one was red, this one, let's say I want that one to be green. And I don't even know what I say. Today's live stream. So we'll just go like this. Today's. So here, you know, you can shorten it like this. Live stream. And now for this one, I'll change this to live. Let's make that blue. And for stream, let's put that on a different track. And I'll show you what I'm doing here. So this second one will be stream. And we can leave it the same color, but I'm going to want to move it like this. Okay, and I can make these longer. That's as far as I'm going to go. You can get the idea. Let's just play that through. All right. So, yeah, that's how you do it. So if you group them together, if you save it as a group, or if you group the, what am I trying to say? If you group the text before you save it to your library, then that'll give you the properties up here under the group properties, right? Group properties, and you can change your text and your color of the text right in here, okay? And you could change more. I mean, you could change the size of the text as well, either in here, or you can just click and save it, or click and change it right on the canvas if you want. Yeah, so that's how you do that. So that is just something I probably should have included in the video yesterday, but hey, that's what these live streams are for. I can go over anything I missed in the live streams with you guys the next day or the next Tuesday. All right, let me just quickly check the chat, see if I've missed anything. Digital Learn Academy says, hey guys, if you have social media, make sure you share these videos. That's how we will help Rob grow. I just shared the video. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's awesome. Really appreciate that. Then he goes on to say, I love Camtasia. You can do so much with this program, short and TikTok videos, etc. Absolutely. TikTok shorts. In fact, if you make what I've done is, and actually I haven't made many short, I think it's been a month since I've done any YouTube shorts or long form videos. It's been about a month since I've done any short form videos, the vertical ones. I've been focused more on the long form and getting 3 out every week on the channel. But a good strategy is if you want another way to try to drive traffic to, say, a YouTube channel or anywhere really. But if you're making YouTube videos like I am, once you have a YouTube video made, you can then make short form versions of it, like little snips, little bits. So what I've done in the past, I've done a new voiceover for them, like just a 15 to 20 second voiceover, just some quick points, and then I'll basically take B-roll from the long form videos that I made, and I'll make it, happen fast, and create a short form video. But what I do is I'll make 2 versions. I'll make a short form video, because the same short form video can be uploaded to YouTube as a YouTube short, Instagram as an Instagram reel, and TikTok. As long as you keep it under 1 minute, then that satisfies, I think it's Instagram that has that as a limit. TikToks could be longer. YouTube Shorts, I believe, can be longer. But as long as you keep them under a minute, then the same video can go to all 3 places. And actually, in talking to my kids, they tell me, if you make a short form video that's a minute long, that's way too long. I'm not interested in watching anything that's a minute long. So that might be a generational thing. I don't know, but I think these days and it maybe not generational thing, it's the sign of the times. These days, people don't tend to have attention spans that are very long. So the advice I'm getting is to keep my short form videos super quick, like no longer than 15 to 20 seconds. And if it's 20 seconds, then things better be happening fast on the screen, like either text popping up or you're switching scenes fast. Otherwise, people swipe away, right? So anyways, what I do is I'll make one of these videos, but I'll save two versions of it. One with some royalty-free music that I get from Motion Array or Epidemic Sound. I'll put that music in it as low background music, say, much like I do in the intro and the ending of my YouTube videos. And I'll save a version with that background music, and I'll save a version without the background music. And the reason is, when I upload to YouTube or Instagram, you want to include the music, but when you upload to TikTok, you don't want to include the music. You want to instead choose music in the TikTok app. As you're uploading it, you get to choose music, and it's typically more commercially available music, stuff that would flag your videos for copyright infringement if you uploaded it to YouTube. But TikTok, I guess, has a deal with these companies, and the reason I've been told that that's a good thing to do is that's another way people may discover your video. If they may like a certain piece of music, and then you can go into TikTok and decide to listen to or watch only videos with that music in it. And that's just another way people can find your video. So that's what I typically do. I'll find music that kind of fits with the YouTube short that I'm making. But then when I upload it to TikTok, I'll search for music there that also somewhat matches the music that I chose for the YouTube short. But yeah, no, Camtasia, very easy to create long form or short form videos. So absolutely. Digital Learn Academy says, people pay attention to value. We sit through things that add value. I think time will tell. Some people's channels are being harmed because of shorts. I have 3 YouTube channels. And I think you continue on here. There is so much bad advice out there. YouTube is a study. Everyone's channel is going to be different. Yeah, absolutely. There's so many different types of channels. And I've also heard that shorts harm channels. I'm not sure. When I posted, I posted some shorts a month to 2 months ago, and my thought process was that's another way to perhaps get my channel discovered by people who may not otherwise be searching for tutorials. And to some degree, I think it worked. I got some new subscribers from those. But where I think it doesn't necessarily work is, I mean, it's a lot of effort to create them. And I'm certainly not banking on making money or earning, AdSense revenue from shorts at all, because I don't make the type that would go viral, basically. And that's not part of my strategy. But if I'm thinking about people who are swiping through, watching reels or shorts, how often do people really subscribe to a channel based on a short? I don't think it's very often. I think, like for me, if I'm, and it's not very often, but if I'm going through reels or shorts, I'm just swiping. Oh, that's funny. And if I find something that's funny, I'll copy the link and I'll share it to my family on, through iPhone Messenger or whatever. But I don't ever subscribe because I think also the algorithms of these platforms, shorts, reels, TikToks, they know what you're watching, right? And they will learn from your watching habits, and they'll keep serving you more of the same. So there's really no need, I think, to subscribe to channels if you're just going to be surfing through these short form platforms, because it'll learn your habits, it'll learn your watching habits, and it'll serve you what it knows you want to see, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it harms your channel. I'm not sure if anybody knows, but I did see, yeah, you're right in that there's so much bad advice out there. I think there's so much advice out there, and you have to almost be smart and educated enough to try to sift through the advice to know what's good advice and what's bad advice. So there's a lot of, you're right, a lot of bad advice, a lot of old advice. Like if you're watching a video that's 3 years old, maybe whatever they're telling you about in there doesn't apply anymore. Especially when it comes to shorts and reels and TikToks, it's relatively new and always evolving technology, right? So, yeah, no, it's something you could certainly, lots to learn for sure. Oh, wait now. Sorry, I didn't mean to, I jumped over you. Pam, let me go back to your comment. I don't like shorts. It's hard to get out of them. I can't see the bottom. I avoid them like the plague. You can't see the bottom. Well, so it sounds like you're watching them on like a Mac, on a computer, on a widescreen computer. Shorts are generally for short form, looking on your phone. People tend to watch these shorts and reels on their phones, and then they're seeing all of it. So that's why shorts are. And in fact, the way you upload a YouTube short is no different than uploading a regular video. You just click upload, and if the video happens to be, tall and narrow, YouTube knows to put that in the shorts shelf. I think that's what they call it. But yeah, it would certainly be frustrating if you're watching them on a widescreen. You're not going to see it all. I will see them on my screen, but more often than not on YouTube, I will X out of the shorts shelf. I don't tend to want to watch. If I'm on my computer, I'm not looking at long form. Or sorry, I'm not. I call it long form because they're long videos. If I'm on my computer, I'm not really interested in looking at short form long videos. Those are for my mobile phone. Let me see here. Where are we? Digital Learn Academy. I found you from your long form content. I didn't see your shorts until I subscribed. What a hoot. Very good. Yeah. Hey, the shorts that I've made were from the advice of my kids. My 20-something kids are telling me, got to be fast, got to be quick. The first ones I made last summer, actually outside, just I wrote some notes down on paper and tried to, speak quickly. So it's an evolving process with me too. So the last few I did, I believe, were voiceover. I did voiceover, and then I just put a whole bunch of B-roll to it. So there's different ways you can do it. I'm not particularly good at speaking freestyle to a camera. I mean, I'm doing it now with these live streams. I'm doing it, but if I took a 30-second snippet out of any of my live streams, you'd be hard pressed to find 30 seconds where I'm speaking fast enough and clear enough that you can make a short out of it, if that makes sense. I'd have to edit it and take out all the ums and ahs and stuff. So. Digital Learn Academy says we have 7 people watching and 4 likes. Please hit the like button. Thanks everyone. Thank you very much for the shout out. That's great. Pamela Power says yes on a computer. You're watching shorts on a computer. Yeah. So you could, if you really wanted to see all of them, you could change the the dimensions of your screen and see it all. But then all your text would be smaller and whatnot. But shorts aren't really made for computer screen watching. Square Egg says, I rarely watch shorts, but I do think it is a generational thing, constantly scrolling to the next thing. 100% agree. 100% agree. I find myself trying to, so it's not my generation, but I find myself trying to stay on top of it so that I can, create videos about it, basically. So perhaps that's me trying to help bridge the gap between my kids' generation and my generation and other generations. Digital Learn Academy says, your kids are right about shorts. Good to have young people around. They know a lot about this stuff. They certainly do. My son's a computer science graduate. He's out working now, so he knows a lot about it. And my daughter is a Instagram expert, has more followers than I do, way more followers than I do subscribers here. Incidentally, thank you very much, everybody. We hit 3,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel over the weekend. So thank you. That's awesome. Little milestone there. I actually got a video. I took a screen capture of my screen, and I caught it rolling from $29.99 over to 3,000. And I created a folder, and I put it in that folder. It's called Milestones. And eventually, when we hit 100,000 subscribers or wherever we're going to get to, I'll make a video that has all these things in it. That might be fun. Who knows how I'm going to use that down the road. But anyways, yeah, 3,000 subscribers. That was a big thing. That's awesome. All right, let me get back to, we've been, what is it, 2, 3, an hour and 40 minutes. We don't have as many people in it as right now, probably because I've gone over an hour. There's a couple more things I could hit on if you guys are interested. Digital Learning Academy, it's only up for you. I see this year going very well for you. You make really good content. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like it. Just trying to help. Just trying to help. And incidentally, like the way, if any of you, I don't know, are any of you interested in starting your own YouTube channel, or do you have one already that you're trying to grow? If that's you, let me know. But what I've learned about this is, because I listen to podcasts and stuff, and how to what this is all about and how it all works, and basically here it is. If you're interested at all in creating content, which I assume you are if you're here watching videos on Camtasia, you must be creating something, whether it's for yourself or for clients or whatever. But if you do create for clients or for other people, then it's probably not a stretch for you to be creating for yourself if you don't already. So, and that would mean, I would suggest that would mean that you should have a YouTube channel where you post things that you make. Now, what should your channel be about? Well, now I'm going off of, I hadn't planned on talking about this, but I will. Stop me if you've heard this before and you don't need to hear it again. But the long and the short of it is, if you know something, if you know how to do something, if you have an answer for something, for questions that people have, and they're looking for the answers, you can start a YouTube channel about it, and just start sharing your knowledge. Like, a YouTube channel doesn't have to be a vlog channel. It doesn't have to be van life. You know, you don't have to sell your house and buy a van and move into your van and drive across the country and vlog about your life, right? People do that. Typically younger people, I've seen the younger generation, I've seen those types of videos. People will vlog about anything. Video log, right? They're documenting their life. They're documenting trips. I mean, that's another thing you could do. But aside from all that, if you're struggling, if you like the idea of having a YouTube channel but you don't know what to talk about, start with what you're good at. What are you good at? And it doesn't have to be computer related. So I'm good at making tutorial videos, so that's kind of where my channel has gone. I've been doing this for many years, so that's what I've kind of the niche I've gone down. But if you're good at, I don't know, baking, if you like to run, let's say you're training. I'm actually training for a running race, so I run 3-4 times a week. I could start a channel about that, helping people train. If you're good at, I don't know, I'm just kind of looking around. Cameras, if you're good at cameras, if you like cameras, if boat building, if you're into that, if you're into sailing, if you're into wharf building, I don't know, anything, whatever you're into or good at, or you don't even have to be good at it. Again, I'm not an expert in Camtasia. I know enough about it to talk about it and to help people know what I know, but the reality is everybody is good at something, and good enough at better than, put it another way, everybody is better than some people at something. If that makes sense. If you're just, you don't have to be an expert, but if you're just a little bit better than a bunch of people, then these bunch of people would benefit from learning from you, if that makes sense. So if that's the case, then whatever this thing is that you're good at or are interested in, make videos about it. And then people will tune in, right? And your channel can grow from there. And then, eventually you can do live streams and ask people what else they want to learn from you. So I think YouTube is great. I'm using it again to teach about Camtasia, but I've often thought, wouldn't it be a cool thing to have a channel for people to look at like many years from now and learn about things or just learn about people, like even thinking like 50 years from now when I'm gone, maybe my grandkids stumble across my channel and say, oh, isn't that cool? Grampy had a YouTube channel, and they can watch all kinds of stuff that I made 50 years earlier. Who knows? I'm assuming YouTube will be here in 50 years. If not, it'll be something else. Who knows? But you get what I'm saying? So it's a really neat thing to document things, but it's also a really neat way to teach about things that you might be interested in anyways, and then perhaps earn a little income from. I'm not making money from my YouTube channel as of now. I'm not monetized yet, but the plan is to eventually get there. And you can turn any hobby into a business with YouTube. And if you want to know more about that stuff, again, I kind of went down a tangent here, but I can talk about that stuff. I could probably talk about that all day. It's what I'm interested in. So if you want me to talk more about that, let me know, and I can expand on that in a future video or live stream. Let me just quickly check the comments here as well. Digital Learn Academy says, well, I am here. Keep going. We are here. Yep. There's still a few of you here, so I'll keep talking. If you guys keep having questions, I'll keep going. Square Egg says, I'm an instructional designer and trainer. Haven't really thought about a channel. I guess I like watching content more than creating it in my free time. Yes, it sounds like it would be right up your alley, 100%. If you're an instructional designer and trainer, I guess, I don't know what you instruct or train about, but whatever it is, I'm sure there's a way you could do it on YouTube. But you bring up a good point. You like watching content more than creating. I do too. I like watching content, but there comes a time where you have to make, or I mean, you don't have to. There are content creators and there are content consumers. Two different types of people. You can be both, but if you're spending a lot of time content consuming, that doesn't leave a whole lot of time for content creating, if that makes sense. So that's kind of something I've struggled with. So I'm going to say, well, I started my channel over 3 years ago. I'm going to say 3.5 years ago. And when I first started, I was gobbling up all kinds of information, watching all kinds of content on cameras and microphones and, live stream setups and lighting, all that stuff on YouTube, watching all kinds of content, subscribing to all these channels, learning as much as I can. And then I started, it was funny, and actually I should dig that up. I took a video of me getting ready to do my very first live stream. And it's funny, this just popped into my head. It was funny. It took, I'm going to say 2 hours before I actually hit play. I was jogging on the spot. I was like, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? I was nervous. Like in my mind, as soon as I went live, there was going to be 1 million people there watching me. And it made me nervous. So getting used to talking to a camera and getting used to talking on a live stream, it takes practice. I'm by no means an expert, but the more you do this kind of thing, the more you get into um, doing these things, the better you get at it. So at some point, if you do have, excuse me, designs on becoming a YouTuber and maybe taking your instructions and training online and doing it through a YouTube channel, you're going to have to start, I guess, is my point, and just kind of get the cobwebs out and just get used to doing it. And your first couple of videos are going to suck. Well, maybe they're not. If you're an instructional designer already, you're probably already good at teaching. But I certainly wasn't when I started, but I started anyways. And as they say over at Think Media, which is one of the channels I subscribed to early on, they have a lot of great content about how to grow a YouTube channel. Sean Cannell, I believe is his name, at Think Media. The famous saying for them is you just gotta hit record, or you just gotta press record. And it's so true, because until you hit record and start speaking, you don't know what it's like. And there's a lot you can learn by just hitting record. And you can just hit record and don't even plan to make a video, and don't even plan to keep the video. Just practice hitting record and just start talking in front of the camera and talk for 10 minutes about wherever your conversation goes. Talk with yourself. And soon enough, you'll get used to doing that. And then you can make videos, say. Anyways, another tangent I've gone down. I'm sorry, but I hope that helps. Pamela Power says, I call it the University of YouTube. Amazing how much you can learn. Absolutely. You can learn anything on YouTube. Everything I do, I've learned on YouTube. I've got like 3 degrees from university, and I don't use any of them in my day-to-day anymore. So you could learn. I mean, I'm a big proponent of maybe university isn't as necessary as it used to be. You can, if you've got the discipline, you can go online and learn pretty much anything. You just have to decide what you want to learn. The average YouTuber takes 100 videos before they get it. That's probably right. And I'm not there yet. I don't have 100 videos yet. So I don't get it yet, I guess. But no, it takes a lot for sure. And it's funny to go back and watch some of your earlier ones. Digital Learning Academy says, Sean is good and he is right. You just have to start and keep going. Yep, absolutely. Actually, I was listening to... I went for a run earlier today, and I had his podcast on during my run. I like listening to he's got a good podcast at Think Media. So sometimes I listen to music, sometimes I listen to people talk about business and YouTube and whatnot. So depends on what I'm feeling. But yeah, no, he's got a lot of good stuff. And actually, I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is the book by Sean. He's one of the authors, Sean Cannell, from Think Media. And it's a great book, YouTube Secrets. It's a few years old now, but lots of good stuff in here. Not that you can't get most of this stuff online through YouTube. Anyways, but it's a good, sometimes you want to pick up a book and read, right? So that's a good one. That is a good one. Okay, where are we? Digital Learn Academy. I would say you aren't average. You are way above that. It's not even fair how good your videos are. Mine were bad. You're awfully good for my ego. Thank you. You can come back anytime and say all the nice things you say about me. That's great. Yeah, that's, thank you. Yeah, I spent hundreds of hours, God, it's probably thousands, but who's counting, on YouTube trying to figure this stuff out. But spent some money too. Like this camera here is a Sony A6400 is what I use. And the lens is the Sigma 1.4 16 millimeter. It's the lens that gives the blurry background because it has a low f-stop. I mean, I'm saying things that I don't fully understand myself, but I know enough, I've read enough, or I've seen enough videos to know a little bit about this stuff. But I mean, the camera was, I think the camera was $1,300, and the lens was another $400, something like that. Canadian dollars, so a little bit less if you want to convert to US dollars. But yeah, so that's not that cheap. But and some lights and whatnot. The lights aren't that expensive, the ones I use. But yeah, you can spend a lot of money on this kind of stuff, but you don't have to. I use Daryl Eves' book, YouTube Formula is a great book. Do you see that? Oh, yeah, I don't think you can, but that's the other one I've got. This is the one you're talking about. Daryl Eves, also a good book. Longer, about 3 times as long, but yeah, lots of good stuff, and it doesn't get old. Most of the stuff in there, or if not all, still applies today. Yeah, so good stuff. Pamela Power says, someone said it takes 10,000 hours to be proficient at something. I've heard that too. Yeah, I've heard that too, and that's probably right. Yeah. Sounds like a long time, but you know, if you add up the days, it's probably not that long. I guess it depends on how much time you can devote to learning this stuff, and how much knowledge you already have on it. That, you know, if you have a good starting point, that helps too. But yeah, no, there's lots of stuff that goes into all this. And also, so most of my videos, again, have been about Camtasia, with a little bit about YouTube here and there. If you want to know more about any of my setup, like or anything about it, like if you want to know more about my camera or the lights I use, or you know, whatever, my microphone, my live streaming setup, it doesn't have to be so much about the hardware I use, because you know, there's more than one way to do these sorts of things. And my setup may be a little bit more complicated than it has to be, but I have it a certain way so that I can easily share a screen and then look at other screens to see what's going on. And like 4 monitors is probably overkill. I certainly don't use all 4. I use 3 when I'm editing videos. You know, the big one would have the timeline editing on it, and then the side one is my file managers or Finder windows that I drag stuff back and forth from. And then down here I usually have, you know, Google open, and I'm, you know, whatever I'm doing, if I'm looking at YouTube, or if I'm researching something, or looking for images, or going to Motion Array, or looking for music, I'd have that on down here. I don't usually have a whole lot going on over on the Mac itself, although the Mac is driving all these monitors. But when I live stream, then yeah, I'm running out of, not running out, I have just enough space. I can show you, like, so I've got what you're seeing, this is my phone, okay? That's my phone's camera, iPhone, and that shows you my setup. So I've got Ecamm Live on the MacBook, right? And then I have my main screen here. I can see, this is YouTube Studio, so I can see there are 6 of you in here listening to me go on right now. And this is how many people we've had over the course of the live stream. So that's that window. I've got a couple of Camtasia windows open here, and you know, web page up here. That's this on my main monitor, but I would usually video edit up here. But for a live stream, this is kind of like call it my container of where I'm dragging things from when I'm talking to you guys. And then down here is the screen that I'm sharing. Like if I hit the share screen button, you'll see this screen, like that, okay? You'll see that screen. And then, so back to the iPhone. And then over here, that's just a live output of, you know, of the stream, what you guys are seeing on YouTube. I've got 2 Finder windows open, and what I typically do there is I'll have one open to the downloads folder. When I download something from the internet, it goes into that folder, and down here I'll have my project folders here. So if I'm working on a video, I'll have that project folder open, and I can drag stuff to and from there. But for these live streams, I don't really use this monitor that much at all. Okay, so But it's good to have a dedicated screen that I can share with you guys like this when I want to. And then, of course, the camera view, right? Yeah, so again, I'm not sure. Yeah, so 10,000 hours to be proficient at something. That's probably not far off. Digital Learn Academy says, question, I have been using Rev and I keep getting some flicker of white in the video. Is that a green screen issue? I'm not sure. I don't know what that would be. Flicker of white in what video? Video of yourself, like the video you're taking with your camera? Is that what you mean? Or of the screen capture? But either way, I don't know what that would be. I actually haven't used Rev myself. I like, I mean, Rev is great for quickly generating a material, right? But I've been kind of making my videos all manually. I'll instead of doing the circle mask, I mean, I could probably use Rev to do it. It's just one of these things. To me, Rev is something that would make Camtasia very attractive to somebody new coming into this, and didn't have any prior knowledge. But if you're already kind of set in your ways of how you mask yourself and you want a little more control over placing things and whatnot, then perhaps you don't need Rev. But I can certainly see where it does not cut corners, it does shave some time off. It's almost like starting with a template, right? You can use Rev to quickly generate a nice looking finished product. So yeah, but no, it's not something I've really used much myself. I made one video about it when it came out, back in November 23, I think it was. Digital Learn Academy says, now I am sitting in my chair and I make tutorials on another channel. Now I am sitting in my chair and I make tutorials on another channel. Yes, video of me when I move in my chair. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, wait now. Maybe it's got to do with your question. I have been using Rev and I keep getting some flicker of white in the video. Is that a green screen issue? While you're sitting in your chair and I make tutorials on another channel. Okay. Okay, so, and you have a green screen behind you. So maybe that has something to do with it. I do know that when I use the background remover in the videos that I make for YouTube, I'm going to say the last 20 or so videos I've made have all had me on the screen with the background removed. That's the way I've been doing it. And when I use that background removal tool, sometimes there's some ghosting and whatnot. You'll see that if I raise my hands, you'll see a little bit of black ghosting or whatnot. It's more prominent if there's a white background, or white screen. Typically there isn't in my videos because I'm shooting Camtasia. But for example, in the Google Drive video I made, and I think the YouTube video I made, I ended up putting myself in a circle mask instead of that because it was a white background and there was a lot of ghosting and like artifacting, or however you say that, I don't know. It wasn't a clean removal of the background. And I think the reason is, if anything else is really in focus, that's when it may not get removed. The Camtasia background removal tool works really well if you have a good lens like this that makes the background blurry. Okay, so what it's doing is everything that's sharp and in focus, it's keeping. So me, if I'm in focus and my camera has autofocus on my face, but if the background is if the background is blurry, it'll take it out. So, and with a green screen, you're probably using remove a color effect in Camtasia. So, but I'm not sure what the white might be. Digital Learn Academy says, yeah, I've stopped using the Rev. Yeah. Again, I'm gonna look at it again just to see what else might be in there that I might be able to take advantage of. But I think it's just an easy way to get to the same result. And if you're already used to getting to the result in other ways, you may not need Rev. I sit in the chair when I make my videos. Sorry, I didn't mean to confuse you. I am sitting in a chair when I make those videos. It's a green screen. I think that may be the issue. It might be. What I can suggest, oh, and you say, I am pulling the green screen back and trying to light it better. I was just going to say, green screens do work better if they are well lit. So I actually don't have one, but if you wanted to green screen yourself out, it is helpful if it has its own light. Like if you have a green screen behind you and you have a light lighting you, your shadow may be going onto the green screen, especially if it's close to you. If the light is off on an angle, then perhaps you can put the green screen back far enough that that your shadow is missing the green screen. I think that would just take some playing around to get it right. But you could also have or get other lights that are only lighting your green screen, like just in the top corners, like behind you, shining backwards on the green screen, and make it really bright green. That might help. Might help you get a more uniform green as well over the entire screen. So yeah, that might help. One sec. We have gone over 2 hours. Holy cow. I hope that's okay. There's 7 of you in here watching, so there's at least 7 of you that don't mind that I'm still talking. Yes, that is the plan now. All right, well, let me know how it goes. Hopefully that works. I've been toying with the idea of getting a green screen, actually. I'm thinking, the thought process has begun in terms of making videos for a course that I want to eventually offer. And I'm going to have a slightly different setup, and I'm thinking green screen might be a good way to do it, or at least changing the view so that I'm not like this. But we'll see, because there's going to be some that is just me talking and not demonstrating, like intros and things like that. Yeah, it might be something I look at getting in the near future. Green screen. Mohanad Al Amadi says, sorry, but which lens are you using? So the camera is the A6400 by Sony. It's a few years old now. Mine is 3 years old, and I think it was 2 years old technology when I got it. And the lens is a Sigma 16 millimeter 1.4 or 1.6? 1.4. That's the f-stop, or I believe it aperture, I think it's called, 1.4. The lower that number, right, the 1.4 number, then the blurrier your background can be. That's kind of the way that works. So when you get a Sony a6400, or the newer version now, I think is called the ZV-E10, I think is what it is. Basically, it's $1,000 or $900 camera that is a crop sensor camera. It's not a full frame digital camera. The full frames are like the A7S III, and they're $3,000. So I don't have that. Better camera, but I think this looks fine. Better than a webcam, but maybe not high end. Again, you got to look at what you're doing and what you need. So yeah, the crop sensor camera, the Sony 16 millimeter lens. Actually, let me show you. If I do this and go to Amazon and we go to, look at that, I was looking at green screens. Sigma 16 millimeter. It's this one right here. That is the lens I use. 16 millimeter f1.4. And that attaches right to the camera, and the camera takes care of the autofocus, right? So like if I, where are we here? If I back up, my face is always going to be in focus, I hope. Is it? Or if I get up close, see, it's focusing on my face. Or if I put something, in front of the lens, as long as it's covering my face, it'll focus on the something, right? But as soon as my face is visible again, it focuses on my face. So this camera's got great autofocus, and it doesn't matter what kind of lens you put on it. This lens It's just a lens. So yeah, the autofocus will still work. So hopefully that helps. And let me just see here. Oh, and I should also mention that, so this is Amazon. That's the camera right there, the Alpha A6400. Okay, that is the camera that I use, and it's on sale. These are Canadian dollars. I'm on Amazon.ca, so 1100, so 1200 Canadian is probably, what would that be? 1200 times 0.8 roughly, about $960 US for the camera alone. Now the camera comes with a lens, right? That lens, but that lens is, you can see the numbers. See the E 3.5 to 5.6? You see where it says that on the top? That's the F number, the aperture number. So it's a zoom lens. You can 16 to 50. So it'll zoom between 60 and 50 millimeters. Okay, so you can twist the lens a little bit to zoom in or out. The other lens that I use instead that has the f1.4 instead of 3.5 does not have zoom capabilities. It's 16 millimeters always, okay? But that's okay. You just, if you want to be further away, then you back the camera up. If you want to be closer, you pull the camera closer to yourself. That's how you have to use it with the other lens. But with this lens that comes, it's called a kit lens, that comes with the camera, the F number is not low enough to give you a really blurry background, so the background removal tool in Camtasia may not work as well. So that's something to keep in mind. Thank you so much. You are the boss. It's amazing. Thank you very much. Glad I can help. Yeah, no, there's so much to all this stuff. But anything you guys want to ask me about any of this stuff, feel free, and I'll do my best to answer. Is there anything else here that I didn't touch on that I should touch on? That's the wrong page. So coming next, tomorrow morning, so 9 a.m. Eastern, I'm coming out with another video. It's already uploaded. It's on motion path and motion blur. Motion path and motion blur. So that video, it's already done. It's uploaded. The look for, let's just go right here. Studio content. No, that's not where I want to go. Go right here. And I can share that with you guys. This is Canva. This is my Canva account. This is where I make all my thumbnails. Okay, so look for that one right there. That thumbnail's coming out tomorrow morning, motion path and blur. That's the video coming out tomorrow. Then on Friday, I'll be coming out with using and managing templates in Camtasia. I shot the video this morning. I just have to finish editing it and create the thumbnail. If you guys want to learn more about how I create my thumbnails, let me know. I can go over that next week if you want in the live stream. But yeah, so that's what's upcoming. And then I don't know what's going to be after that. Once I finish editing that one, I'll look at my list and I'll decide what is next. Let's see now. Lost my mouse for a second there. Digital Academy says, oh, there we go. I use a green screen if you want to see it. If here is the link, it's collapsible. I love this darn thing. Oh, the link didn't work. Oh, I don't think you can put links in here. I don't think you can put links in the YouTube chat. 92-inch wide green screen. Is it one of those ones that is spring loaded and you kind of lift up out of the container and hook it? I've seen those, or I've also seen where you pull them down. You can attach them to the ceiling or a wall. Yeah, so there's a couple different ways you can do that. Oh, you just said Julia Studio 7.6 by 6.6 by 92. Let me plug that in here. No, I can't copy out of the chat, so we'll just type this. Julia Studio, 7.6 feet. Let's see what that gives us. Let me share you my screen. Probably that one then, eh? Must be that. Green screen. Comes with a couple of light stands on either side and a horizontal bar. Some clamps to keep it straight or stretched. Nope, not that one, he said. Okay. There's a lot. There's so many. There's so many in here. That's the 10-foot wide. Okay, and you have the 92-inch wide. What is 92? I bet the 92 divided by 12. 7 point. So yours is 7.6. So this one's a little wider. So it comes in a shorter version or a narrower version. 92-inch wide. If I just plug that in, 92-inch wide. No, it's not finding it, but that might be because I'm in Canada too. So there's different. Sometimes you don't get the same things, or I don't get the same things here in Canada as you may in other parts of the world. So, yeah, no, there's so many choices, so many. It's a lot to choose from. Okay, so coming next. So yeah, so 2 more videos, almost ready. Tomorrow's is ready to go. Friday's is almost ready. And then I will have one on Monday as well. And then we will go live again on Tuesday. So between now and then, any questions that come up, any questions that came up in this live stream, or if a question comes up after I sign off here, right now you can put questions in the chat, but as soon as I press end stream, the live chat will be no more, and then you'll be able to put messages in the comments section below. This live stream will become a video you can watch later. So any questions or comments you put in the, any questions you put in the comments section, or any questions you put in the comments section of any of the videos I release, the next 3 videos before next week's live stream, I will talk about in next week's live stream. And also, there's some other things I did not get to. What's on upcoming videos today? More caption tricks. I kind of showed you that, the grouping, right? I wanted to show you the grouping. More shortcuts. We talked about JKL, right, as my new favorite shortcuts that did not make it into my shortcuts video I made last Friday. I did not get to flipping yourself. Let me show you that really quick. There's still 5 of you here, so in case anybody wants to see that, I will show you really quick. And I believe this was Pam that asked this. So I'm going to pull up a project. Where am I going here? Let me go to my projects. Camtasia. I don't want to mess up anything I'm currently. Let's just open the new live trailer one that I just made this morning. Okay, so here we go. So here is, I'll just remove the comment here. So really quick, here is a video of myself. And what was asked was, how do I flip myself around, basically? So, and I believe what she's referring to is on the videos that I make and put on YouTube. I'm not showing you one right here now, but I put myself on the screen and I'm flipped. So the way I do that is, let's take this as an example. Let's go up to Visual Effects, grab Background Removal, drop it here. It did a nice job of removing my background. And now what I do is I will make it smaller. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Grab the corner here. I pull it down, make it smaller, and to flip myself. So basically, if I'm talking to you like this, sorry, I want to see what you guys are seeing. If I'm demonstrating something on a screen here, if you see me in the bottom right corner of the video, notice how I'm looking off to the right. It's like I'm looking away from the screen. The videos that I make, I want it to look like I'm looking towards what I'm working on. So I flip myself. So in the way I do that is you, with yourself highlighted, come over here into the properties, and under rotation, the Y, you can click that and drag it and flip yourself around like that. Okay, that's the Y axis. Now, a circle is 360 degrees. So what I want to do is flip myself half of that, 180 degrees. So half of 360 is 180. So I always just type it in right here, 180 tab. There I am, I'm flipped. And I'll move myself over to the edge, and then the audio wasn't affected. It's not like it flips my audio as well. I only manipulated the video portion. So there you go. Now I'm facing towards the video. That is how I flip myself in my videos. Okay? And again, it works a lot better on a dark background. If this was a white background, now I'm not really moving my hands that much in this video, so it might, now you can kind of see the chair. But yeah, there's a little bit of artifacting going on down here, right? It just doesn't work as well on and right here, you can see a little bit up here because I moved my head. So, you know, it's not perfect, but it's a damn good start. And it works great when the background is dark, like this, right? Or on, you know, on the Camtasia, if Camtasia screen is your background, then it works just fine. You know, you'll be able to see some artifacting and whatnot. It's not production level for like a movie theater or anything like that. That's not my goal. So for me, it works just fine. And I can see a couple things going on here. I can just move it over. Oh no, that's on my screen. You know, I could move myself partially off of the screen if I wanted to completely hide the part of my chair that shows up there. But anyways, yeah, that is how I flip myself in my videos. Ball rolling downhill. Really quick. I'll show you. Let me back this up. Back. There, all the way back. Let me just see here. Square Egg says, I will pop a comment in one of the upcoming videos about callouts, other than arrows, speech bubbles, etc. If you have any cool ideas on alternatives, that would be great. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't use the speech bubbles too much, but yeah, no, I can give it some thought. Yeah, if you can do that, put a question in one of my videos, and that way I can kind of think about what other good callout, what are some other good ideas for callouts that can be used. I'd be happy to talk about that as well. Perfect. Okay, so let me really quickly show you a rolling ball. This is going to be so quick. So quick, in fact, I'm going to do it again next week. Okay, so, but let me, first of all, really quick, I just created some space here. Let's go to annotations, shapes, let's grab a circle. Let's throw that here. Okay, let's put it up here. In order to tell that it is rolling, we're going to have to modify this a little bit. Why don't we do this to it? Let's duplicate it, make this one smaller, make it a different color so we can actually see it. Black. Okay. I need to get rid of canvas snapping. Here we go. Let's close the color box. Okay, let's duplicate that. I'm going to hold Shift down and drag it to the side. All right. And I don't know. Let's use this. Why not? Little nose. All right. Get the idea? Let's use this. Make this smaller. There's a mouth. How's that for a quickie person? Face. Happy face. All right. So there's an object. Let's group these together. And I haven't done this ahead of time. I'm just figuring this out as I go. Let's do that. We've got a group. Now let's add a motion path. So let's go up to Visual Effects, go down, find our motion path, drag that onto our object, right? Now, so here is, we'll stretch it out here. Here is the motion. Okay. Let's have that go right off the screen. Say like that. Okay. So that's our path. Now, if we want to give this some motion so that it's a ball that's rolling, how do you suppose we would do that? Now, one thing I showed you, one thing that I will show you, I talk about like you've seen this before. The motion path video is coming out tomorrow, so I know you haven't seen it yet. But let me just show you. Click on this Auto Orient button. That will change the orientation of the circle. See how it kind of moves? The orientation of it moves with the motion path instead of always staying perfectly level. Okay, but that's not the rolling ball effect. So that's all you can do with that. So what you have to do is go to Animations and drag a custom animation on top of this. So you're going to have an animation as well as the motion path. Okay? Let's grab this animation and stretch it to the same as the motion path. Okay? Now, what has to happen to this shape between here and there to give it a rolling effect? It has to rotate. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, 5 times. Again, how many degrees in a circle? 360. We want it to rotate 5 times. We go 360 times 5, 1800. Some of you can probably do that in your head. I can't. So, but 1800. And for this one, I think it's the z-axis. Yep, it's the z-axis. So we'll double click in there. We'll type in back up. I don't want to change that. That's the beginning properties. Go to the end and change the ending properties of the Z, rotation, to 1800. Again, make sure you're dealing with rotation, not position. Okay? So rotation, 1800. There. And it doesn't look like anything happened, but watch what happens now. Oh! It's rolling the wrong way. So how do you fix that? Instead of 1800, we'll go minus 1800. Now let's look. That's a rolling ball. Now it's rolling too many times. I have to decrease that 1800. Maybe 3. 360 times 3 times is 1080. 1080p, huh? Wonder if that's a coincidence. Probably not. See what that looks like. How's that? Rolling ball effect, okay? And you can change the motion path, obviously, like this. Now it slows down at the end. It's kind of easing in to the ending. And that's a property that you can change here under the motion path. It says ease in for the easing. We don't want it to ease at all at the end there. So now let's see what that looks like. That's not what I expected it to look like, but I'm still kind of getting used to this. If I Control Z that back. Oh, I see what it did. So finish editing that, minus 1080. Anyways, without anything selected, that's the effect you're going to get. Okay, so rolling ball. That's how you do a rolling ball. And with that, I think I made it to the end of the list of the things I was going to talk about. I had some other questions here, but I think we've probably gone on long enough. What do you say? Does anybody have any other questions? The other things I have written down here were asked not in this live chat, but one of them was rolling ball. Oh no, I did cover these. How do you make yourself flip? How do I adjust the volume globally? Okay, so that would be a different one. I'd have to get a different file here. Let me grab this one, and I'll try not to mess it up. So here we go. Show you this again. This is, here we go. This is the video that I made for the shortcuts last Friday. If you want to, there's two things here. If you want to adjust the volume globally, like what I mean by that is, so this video is heavily edited, right? I can't select, I mean, all of these are the voice tracks. They're all individual things. If I wanted to change the volume of all of them, I could, go ahead and try to select everything, right? And in fact, that's the way you would have to do it. What I was going to say is you could change the volume of each thing individually, but that would take forever. So the way you would do that is you would select everything like this, and that's why it's one of the reasons why it's a good idea to have all of your audio on one track. It makes it easier to select, although I don't. I see I have some audio up here too, so you'd have to hold down. So I've got most of that selected. Let me just zoom in here. Okay, have all this selected. I have some more audio up here. I would hold down Control. And while holding Control, I'd select these ones as well. Okay, with all of your audio selected, what you would do is you go up here to Gain. Okay, and you can click and drag this. And as I do that, you see how everything changes? Okay, that's how you modify the volume of multiple clips all at one time. You have to select them all first. Okay, I'm going to Control Z to back that up because that was a finished video. Okay, so that's one thing. And the last thing is, how do I select all in one track? Okay, so that was a question that I had. Let's say you wanted to select everything in track 5, say in this. Now this is actually going to be a hard one. There's too many tracks in this. Let me swap this out for another file I got here. Much easier. I've only got 3 tracks going here. Let's just bring them all back here. Wait, no, what am I doing? Oh, okay. That's right. I had 2 different things I was showing here. Let's just pull that down here. Now, if I wanted to select, doesn't matter what I'm trying to do. If I'm trying to modify volume, or I'm trying to edit something in some way, if there was a reason I wanted to select everything in one track, how do you go about doing that? The way you do it, so Control or Command A, it's Command A on a Mac or Control A on a Windows computer, selects everything. So Control A, right, selects everything. I didn't want everything. Let's say I only want everything on track 2. The way you do that, now there may be an easier way that I don't know of, but here's how I do it. I would first go ahead and hide the tracks I don't want to select, and then I'd go Control A. That selects only that track, and now I can, move just that track. Okay, so hide the tracks you don't want to select first, and then Control A will select all the remaining tracks. Okay, that's how you do that. Digital Learn Academy, great tutorial. I think you're referring to the rolling ball one because I saw that comment come up earlier. Thanks. Again, I'm not sure how I would use that in a use case, but hey, you know, there's all kinds of different reasons you could be using Camtasia for, and maybe it's useful to somebody who sees that. So I just think it's neat that you can do. I had made a complex animation tutorial 2 or 3 years ago that was quite complex. You know, a ball moving around a circle and all this stuff, and that's I had to do it in a weird way. But as Camtasia evolves, these things become easier to do. So motion path I don't think was an option then, first of all. So that's something that has made things easier. I think, unless there's anything else, I think we're going to draw it there. We're going to call our quits for the day. Thank you, everybody, for stopping in. Those of you who stopped in, looks like we had 53 total views today. Awesome. We got up to 12 viewers at one time. We're growing. Thanks again for helping the channel reach 3,000 subscribers over the weekend. Next stop, 4,000. Yeah, no, things are picking up since I've decided to come out with more tutorials more often, and I've basically recommitted to Camtasia. So backing right up to the very beginning, for those of you who did not start out when I started, Camtasia 2024 update. The update is June is when it's going to be released. Okay. I was speaking to somebody at TechSmith today, and they said June. Can't give me a more concrete date than that. Last year it was April. The year before it was June 7th, and I went live then. But last year I wasn't online really at all, so I wasn't making videos then, so I didn't. But this year I will go live. When it's available, I'll go live, and we'll talk about all the new and great features available in Camtasia 2024. Assuming there are new and great features. I'm assuming there will be. There always is something new. So we'll talk about it, and then I'll start making video tutorials on it. So yeah, that's next. But until then, video tomorrow on Motion Path, and a video Friday on templates. Digital Learn Academy says people should be on the maintenance plan. Yes, they should. I'm on the maintenance plan, so if you're on the maintenance plan, I think it's $100 or something a year to keep going, or I don't know what it is now, but that's what it was when I signed up years ago. It just means I'll automatically get the next version. Some people may not have Camtasia yet, and they may be on a free trial, and they're waiting for the new version to come out. But yeah, if you're on the maintenance plan, then you will get a free upgrade to Camtasia 2024 when it's available. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, look for the new videos to come out Wednesday, Friday, and then I don't know what it's going to be Monday, but I'll have one. And then I will go live again next Tuesday. So if I don't hear from you until then, I will see you next Tuesday. Thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you next week. Bye for now. Cheers.